Hey there, it's Martha, and if you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So this is a little bit of a different video, hopefully more interactive in the sense of like comments and things. But this is me being chatty, looking back at this past year, some reflections on this year, and then the second half of this video, and I will timestamp kind of spots and areas of what I'm talking about, my topics. I just free flow when I talk and do these videos, but I have some categories here, and then also what my plan is for next year, or some thoughts about next year, I should say. Maybe not plan as in what I plan to buy, but more of some strategies and some thoughts. I also go into maybe like the top 5 positive things about a low buy, and that will help me kind of stay motivated and stay on task, like thinking about what's the end goal. Like, you know, if you stay on this low buy, like you're hitting these like 5 things, right? So that's what's in this video. But before I jump into that main part, I'd love to know, where are you in your journey? Like, are you a newbie to wax? You've been here for years and years. Have you been on multiple low buys and no buys? Are you planning on going on a low buy or no buy in the early part of the year? So love to know your thoughts on that. And then if you have any other thoughts on low buys, like I said, I'll go into like I don't want to say they're top 5, but I thought of 5 things that are good about being on a low buy. And then also any strategies for future wax purchasing. I didn't go into that too much in this video, but I guess I'll do it now. I'm filming this intro after I've done the video, if you can't tell. But I think really quick, strategies as far as wax purchasing for next year will be, I think, definitely buying less of the vendors that I have a lot of. And I do go into which ones those are in this video. I do go through numbers, like how much Rose Girls I have, how much Lavender and Speckles, Sassy Girl Aroma and all that. So definitely will be buying less of the ones that I have a lot of. I also feel like I don't think I'm going to expand my vendors all that much. I feel like I've got some really good ones that I really love. I think I may try 1 or 2, maybe 2 that I've been thinking about for a while, but I don't want to go totally crazy. It's kind of a weird balance in some ways, because I feel like I've fallen in love with some very recent new to me vendors, right? So there's a part of me like those have like jumped to the top almost of my vendor list. And so there's a little bit of the FOMO of missing out. But I really feel like I like the vendors I'm buying from. And so I don't think I'm going to be adding a whole lot of new vendors unless a new vendor pops up this year that everyone's talking about. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Second and Spruce, although Erica Kane started, I guess, her company in 2022, but it was the end of 2022. It was like, I think, Small Business Friday, so right around the holidays, right? So unless there's like a new vendor that just pops up and I feel like I have to try, then yes. But otherwise, I'm not planning on adding too many new vendors like I did this year. So that's another strategy. So if you have any strategies of what you're planning for next year or goals for next year, pop them in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just me chatting, but hopefully you'll get some nuggets from some of the stuff that I bring up. All right, enjoy. All right, so this year was my first full year in the wax community, purchasing wax, buying wax. I came through, I'll say Scentsy was the gateway. That's how I came into this community. And then I started watching more and more videos of just channels that I enjoyed. And of course, they're starting to haul vendors. And even at the end of last year, I'm like, I did not know what vendor wax meant. Like, what is vendor wax? Who's the vendor? Like, I'm like, what does that mean? And, I started watching more and more videos, and it was like FOMO. And I know that it's not unusual, I guess, for someone just starting out to want to try everything. And I feel like it's very easy for many of us to get in the predicament that I'm in right now, which is I have so much wax that it doesn't fit in the drawer. That like I'm staring at Rose Girls in front of me. Like it does not fit in the Rose Girls drawer anymore. And there's this one, it's FOMO, fear of missing out, right? As we watch other videos, everything just sounds so good and you want to smell it. And that's it, right? I, being new, I want to smell all the things. I wanted to try it because there's a fear like I'd be missing on like the most amazing scent ever. And so you almost start big, like the net gets super wide. And then now, now that it's been a little over a year, I'm kind of like trying to close that net a little bit because I can't buy all the things. I can't buy all the scents. I can't, check out every vendor. That's just unrealistic and, not what I want to do. No. Everyone's going to do their own thing, but that's not what I want to do. I'm already feeling slightly overwhelmed with the amount of wax I have. So that's just going to get me into trouble. But when I think of this past year, I'm really happy about diving into vendor wax. I love Scentsy. I am a Scentsy consultant. And that's always going to have a place there, but vendor wax it just opened this whole new world, and also why I have so much of it, because there's so many just notes, and it's, I think, a little more complex. I think Scentsy is great for, and this is generalization, right? For like the masses. I think it's like safe to buy things. But I think what vendor wax does, when you really start to figure out like what kind of notes and blends you like, you're like going to be looking for those things, and there's just different, and it's good. And so it got me into trouble. So let's go into the numbers here. And this isn't exact, this is an estimate. I have about 962 cents. It's probably like 1,000, to be honest, because it doesn't include 2 friend mailboxes that I have over there that I haven't put into my spreadsheet, but that's about it. And it doesn't include samples. So here we go. Look at this. Oh, so this is like a big candle votive or hurricane. It's just filled with samples. Some samples are in my spreadsheet, but not all. The other thing about this 962 number, we'll say this is pretty close to what I have. It's in that number, quantity of 1 is just 1. It could be a loaf. It could be a sample, because I do have some samples in here. It could be, a small souffle. It could be, so the size of 962, it's not the same, right? It could be snap bars, whereas in another vendor, I might have a lot of loaves. So it's just going to take me longer to use some different vendors, even though maybe I have a smaller amount of that vendor. But so 962, here's how it comes up. And if you try to add this up, it's not going to add up because I'm not including the wax that my friend has given me. So that I didn't include there, but I have quite a number of bars from my friend that she's made for me. That's not in these numbers. But let's go in alphabetical order. Britta's, I have 18 scents or blends. Dessa's, I have 21. Destination Wax, I have 11. Harper James, I have 19. K's, I have 45, and that actually surprised me. I didn't realize I had that much K's, scented melts. Knowles Farm Scents, 60. I just pretty much, yes, I don't want to say discovered, because I'd heard of Knowles Farm Scents a long time ago, but I didn't go in and buy any since, what was that, August? So 60. L3 Waxy Wonders, 34. Lavender and Speckles, 51. So that was a lot more than I thought too. Rose Girls. I know I have the most of Rose Girls, at least in vendor wax, and I do. 96 blends. I have Salt Mountain Melts. I have 16. Sassy Girl Aroma, 83. So that's outside of Scentsy. Those two are the vendors I have the most of. And then Scentsy, 290. That's a lot. And that's because the Bring Back My Bars, that's 25 right there. And then my club came, so Scentsy does add up quickly just because it kind of keeps coming in at a regular pace. Scoopable wax melts, 11. Second and Spruce, 38. Teddy Bees, 66. And Teddy Bee, yeah. All of these, for the most part, except for L3 and Harper James, are from this year. The Pharmacist's Daughter is 14. And Zape, another one that surprised me, 55 clamshells and some shapes from Zape. So, and I have some scoopables too. So 55. So that really surprised me. And so I don't regret anything about this year. I don't even regret buying so much in the fall and winter, because fall and winter are my favorite scents. And I can, and I know I will, continue to warm those fall winter scents well into probably end of March, because it's still raining, it's still cold during that time, and it's my favorite scents. So I don't mind that I went a little over the top with all the pre-orders that started in August, because I'm also using it up at a pretty good clip. So that's the thing. What I don't even want to say regret, because I really don't regret it. What I do want to watch for next year is maybe doing some smaller orders, looking at my spreadsheet before I place an order and saying, do I have something that is really similar to that? And maybe I'll skip it this year, right? Kind of asking those questions. Like I saw in my spreadsheet from the Melted Mousse, I have a scent called Pumpkin Nog. And from Lavender and Speckles, I have a scent called Pumpkin Eggnog. It's like, do I need both of them? So it's just things like that. So anyway, this year, I also really enjoyed just getting to know more of you. Now I have like little chats on the side, not on the side, but we've become friends where we chat with each other. Sometime in July, I wanted to do a live, and the live was because I still remember that day. I was like, gosh, I miss the interaction, just like I do now. Like, I wish this was kind of a live conversation. I miss the interaction. I'm missing everyone come together all at once and, hey, how's it going? And, people's names are familiar and things like that. And I remember asking, does anyone want to do it with me? Because I was like afraid to do it by myself. And April said, I'll do it. And then Christine's like, I'll do it. Then Stephanie. And so that's how we became, fast friends in summer. And that's just how it happened. I just kind of put a call out, like, anyone want to join me? And it just, became fast friends with them. And that keeps growing, and those friendships keep growing. Whether I chat with you on text or Instagram, that's probably the best thing about this year, is getting to know many of you, chatting with you outside of YouTube. And that's been fantastic. So that is kind of the highlight for sure of this year. And yeah, like I said, I don't have any regrets. I just know that I don't even regret September, where I said, I'm not restricting myself on anything, because it allowed me to buy a lot of things that I wanted to. Now that I know what they smell like, I feel like I can go into next year in a much better position, because I'm going to have a little less FOMO. And I've definitely, throughout these 12 months, have learned what I like, what I don't like. And I'm much better at hauls, because I'm picking things that I like versus a lot of like wild cards. But I will do a wild card here and there. So that's this year. I accumulated a lot of wax. What I should have looked into too is how much I used up. I should have actually counted that number, because it's quite a lot. I think on average, it's probably about, it could be about 30 cents. So, if I keep not buying any for a while, I can start to make quite a dent. Not a great dent, but I'll start making a dent. All right, so let's talk about next year, 2024. Next year, I want to continue on my no buy for at least, I shouldn't say no buy, take that back, low buy for at least August, not August, April. April's like what's sticking in my head, like the first quarter, like the first 3 months. I think it'd be pretty easy for me to go on a low buy. I say low buy because I do want to buy some teddy bees. Even though I have 66 here, it's still new to me. She still has so many blends and I want to try some more, but I don't want to go as big as I did in the last 2 orders. I think my strategy for teddy bees is going to be completely the opposite of what I've done. I think I'm just going to get souffles. And if it's something that I just am obsessed with, maybe I will go in on the RTS and see if I can get a tub of it or not. But I think souffles give me a chance to try a couple more scents and it's not so much wax. So I think that's my strategy for teddy bees coming up in January. I think the other thing is really that's going to help me with the low buy. I did take some notes, and the notes for my low buy kind of to remind me on the positives of low buys, I guess that's what this list is. I kind of put this list together to remind me, like, keep at it. It's good. So one, I do like the feeling of accomplishment when I use up a blend, right? So in my spreadsheet, I love that I have a spreadsheet, and I love that if I've used one up, if I have an empty, which I haven't got rid of here, if I have an empty, that becomes, -1. And I start to see that number go down. So I think seeing that 962 go down to, 960, 957, and seeing that number go down, that is giving me that little like gold star that I think I need to continue holding myself accountable. So that's the first thing. I do get this great feeling of accomplishment as I'm seeing that number go down. The other thing is I'm saving money. So I do have a budget app that I use. I haven't set a budget for wax, but I do have a budget app so I can see what I'm spending and stuff. So the saving money aspect of it is also a positive of low buys. And I just haven't been great at tracking it as much, but I will in the next year. Number 3, I said, I feel less overwhelmed. Like there's stuff here that I recorded in front of me like over a week ago. And there's so many scents, especially when I look at Rose Girls, especially in the last half of this year, I bought a lot and I feel a little bit like I don't even know what I have really. I mean, it's still in boxes, doesn't fill in their drawers. And so that feeling of feeling less overwhelmed is like another positive thing that I have to remind myself on why it's good to be on a low buy. And then kind of similar to that is less clutter. I want to be able to get everything to fit back in its drawers. I feel like I have more than enough space for what I want to use. So let's keep using it up and little by little get stuff off the floor and back in an organized fashion. Number 5, without so many hauls coming in, they take a lot of time to do videos, and I love making videos, which is why I'm going to keep talking and being chatty and have these kind of videos. But I'm not like tied to, how do I say it? When you have hauls coming in, at least I feel like I need to get them up within a short period of time because that's when all the hauls are coming out, right? I don't want to wait 3 weeks later. You can, but I think in my mind, it's just like, especially they'll start piling up, right? If you just keep hauling and hauling, they start to pile up. And then again, you feel you feel not just overwhelmed by the amount you have, but you feel like overwhelmed by the amount of videos that you need to record. So having nothing out there, no outstanding orders, I'm not tied to this kind of haul schedule even though it's like self-induced, but, and that will give me more time to watch videos. I've been so behind, the past, like month and a half. I mean, so behind, more so than normal. And it's because as I make videos and edit videos, that takes up a lot of my day. And then I'm not watching other people's videos. And then tied to that too, the less videos I'm making, because I don't have all these hauls coming, then I also have time to do other things that I love that I didn't get a chance to do this past year. And that maybe is a regret. I didn't think I have had one for this year, but it's not building in time for reading, for the other creative stuff that I like to do, card making, stamping, just being more organized with my time. And so that is something else that I look at as a positive for being on a low buy. So I do want to read more. I do want to do December Daily, which I talked a little bit about in my Sassy Girl Aroma video. Do those things that I just haven't had time to do, because this has become a little bit of a hamster wheel itself. So those are all the things that I'm hoping for in 2024, of kind of the plus side or the bonus of being on a low buy, of, just more time for other things. And then the other thing I want to do, tied to making more time for other things that I enjoy besides wax, is being more intentional about how I use my time. So long ago, a couple years back, I was tracking and I like to track stuff. I love spreadsheets, so this may not be for you, but I love to track stuff. And I was tracking how I was spending my time, like literally, almost like billing, right? Like if I was in legal profession, like billing hours. And I believe now, I think we have, if I remember the number correctly, I hope I'm not wrong, 168 hours of kind of free time in a way, right? If you take out that, assuming you sleep like an average of 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours, and I think kind of waking hours. And I think if you take out, and I should do the math on this before I say anything. Hold on. All right, I had to do my math because I remember 168 sticking out in my head. So basically we have 168 hours a week. Now, you knock out how much time you spend sleeping. So let's say on average, you should be getting around 7 hours of sleep. That's 49 hours off of that. And then I work full time. So let's just knock off 40 hours of that time. So that leaves me with 79 hours of kind of free time, right? I mean, I know we have other obligations, but that's like 79 hours of stuff you can control if you create boundaries and things like that. So just being more intentional on how I spend those approximately 79 hours. Do I want to read for an hour every day? Do I block out that time? Do I want to spend just a certain amount of hours watching YouTube videos? And it's like, okay, maybe I need to block out some time and then put limits on things. Put limits on how much time I'm on the phone, Facebook. A lot of things will take up your time and you don't realize like how much time is gone by. And those are the days where I feel like, where did the day go? I accomplished zip. So I want to kind of go back to some of those basics where I used to not check every hour, but yeah, I'd be kind of conscious of, okay, it's 3:00. Okay, I should finish this before 4 and then maybe give myself an hour to edit, things like that. So those are some of the things that I want to do more for. One, I just feel like I have a little more control over my time. 2, I feel much more productive when I do that. 3, I love my bullet journal. And so just jotting down all the things I need to do. I love checking things off. So that gives me a feeling of accomplishment. If I say, okay, today I want to do these 4 or 5 things. Did I get them done? And did I allot enough time to get them done? So this is a little kind of off wax topic, but that's some strategies for 2024 that I'm doing that I want to kind of put back into my life. One, to just help me get a little more balance, help me with my low buy. And then come April, We'll see if I open up my low buy range a little bit better. The beauty is that I'm not a big spring summer girl, so I'm not really, it doesn't grab me as much as a lot of the pre-orders did in early August for fall and winter scent. So all that being said is, the strategy is just keep warming what you're warming and keep making little dents into that big 962 number. And that's my hope for next year. So I hope you enjoy this. I know it was different, a little chatty, but maybe you got some nuggets out of here. And if you're still watching, thank you so much. Consider giving me a like or subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And there'll be a lot more to talk about and more lives and more things like that in the future. So take care, and I will chat with you later. Bye-bye.